Welcome back to Between Two Simulators. We're here at IMSH25, which is 25 years of IMSH as well. We've got the honour to have Jacob Paul from Nasco Healthcare with us. Jacob, you're 4 months into the job. You come from a background as a celebrated business leader in medical devices, a more regulated area in the healthcare world. What's it like coming into the medical simulation industry, which is much less regulated?
Great question, Jake, and thank you for having me on this interview. And I'm excited to be part of this is my first IMSH, so
Wow.
so I'm really excited to be here. To answer your question, yes, medical device is very regulated, and there's various stages of regulation. So my businesses in Medtronic and in Corin were mostly 510K businesses, so they were regulated, but not as much as, say, a cardiac stent or a pacemaker. But that being said, this industry is a lot less regulated now. Regulation has its good and bad sides, and I think to the extent that it helps us build better products that improve patient safety, patient outcomes, it's a good thing. So I welcome regulation. But that being said, it's a breath of fresh air to be in an industry where you can move very quickly. Over the last 3 months, we made several big moves in exciting new technology that would have taken me a lot more time in medical devices. And this is an exciting space, and this is a space where I think we can make a huge impact to millions of patients around the world, and enable health workers and frontline health workers to improve outcomes. And so that's why I feel like it's a breath of fresh air when you're in a industry that's not as heavily regulated. And so I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, you get more freedom. There's more inventiveness to, more sort of blue sky to think about. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to be responsible and keep patient safety in mind all the time.
Yeah. And overall, so just to sort of labour the facts, like you come from a different industry within healthcare. What's your overall expectation of the growth and the development in this industry overall, if you were to look from above at everything?
So that's I come from a very, very competitive space. Orthopedics and spine were oligopolies with a large number of players competing for an attractive but shrinking market, with major headwinds like reimbursement and so forth. Medical simulation, on the other hand, is quite different in the sense that we have some big tailwinds. We have, as you know, demographics. We have aging populations around the world. We have a huge shortage, a chronic shortage of health workers that's been made worse by the pandemic. WHO estimates by 2030 we might need more than 9 million nurses. So that's just going to make this even more critical. The other thing is this growing acceptance of medical simulation as a enabler of competency-based training that can actually improve outcomes, and so I think this space is going to grow at double digits, with 15%, depending on what report you look at. It is the growth's there for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think we probably read the same reports, and I would concur that that seems to be growing in that range. And let's not forget as well, outside of the US and the rest of the world, we're all in a very similar position when it comes to the shortage of healthcare workers it is a healthcare emergency.
And so, whereas in our space, we have an opportunity to dramatically improve outcome. If you look at, aviation versus healthcare, the outcomes in aviation used to be 1 in 50,000 in the 40s. Now it's 1 in 2 million. In healthcare, in a hospital setting, it can be as low as 1 in 10. And so that's where simulation, when adopted by aviation, has so dramatically improved outcomes, and we have a chance to do that in healthcare.
Yeah, absolutely concur. Brilliant. I mean, there are similarities with other industry if you bring training into it properly. Since you've been at Nasco, you've obviously been exposed to lots of products. At Nasco, you do everything from patient simulation to VR to ultrasound. When you walk through the door, what was the product that you thought, wow, yeah, this is a reason to be here?
So, you're almost asking me to name my favorite child,
Yeah.
And that's a tough one. So, but I have a few favorites. I love Rescue Randy. It's an iconic product in rescue, a really interesting product in an area that's a huge need. Terry is our nursing mannequin, our geriatric nursing mannequin, and that's also serves a very, very important need in this rapidly aging population and this huge gap in geriatric care, and Terry really addresses that. The one I'm really excited about is Alex Gen AI. We just launched this. We did a soft launch a few weeks ago, and we're launching it here. And this is a truly innovative, disruptive product that not just addresses the hard skills of training, but also the soft skills in a more holistic manner. So it's a conversational patient simulator, and Gen AI is a huge step forward from what we used to call classification AI, which is innovative at the time, but had some limitations. And with Gen AI now, it really creates this learning algorithm that contextualizes the conversation, that's very responsive, adaptive, and also helps create scenarios and things like that. So Alex Gen AI has a hugely innovative product. It's way ahead of its time, and I'm really excited about bringing it.
I mean, AI is a buzz phrase that's around. Is there anything that frightens you about AI at all?
So I came from med device, and in med device and spine, we made the first big AI acquisition for AI driven planning. Now in med device, there's this concern about patient privacy, and that's less so here because we are using simulated learning environments, and so it is an issue, but it's not that big a risk as you'd find in medical device. The other risk is we become so used to using it that we set too high an expectation on it, and there may be times when it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. We should just go in with cognizant of the fact that it's not going to be perfect 100% of the time, but it's going to get better so we already have over 1 million data sets, and it's continuing to get trained and get better over time, but we have to be realistic in our expectations.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I think it's going to be a long time before we fully understand the use of AI within healthcare simulation and overall. And we're learning all the time. And also, don't forget, from an AI point of view, the big companies, Google, Apple, they're doing that listening at the moment, so that it's always going to get better, the AI engines that are out there and available. Do you see Nasco as a turnkey solutions company?
Yes, but yes, because we are very customer focused, and we want to bring solutions to the market that address customers' needs. So we just don't want to put out a mannequin or a new technology like we are. We want it to serve a purpose, and to that extent, we package it as part of a solution. So, but we don't want to put solutions out there as one size fits all that requires our customers to either change their workflow or so for us the user experience is really important. So we want to tailor the solutions to what our customers need. So yes, we are a solutions company, but we are a very customer focused.
That's really good to hear. I mean, there's a couple of questions related to that which I'm going to ask you now, but with the broad sort of portfolio of Nasco, a lot of them are task trainers within there. We're obviously at a medical simulation conference, healthcare simulation conference. Do you think that task trainers don't necessarily get the limelight that they should do? And also as well, we need to remember that probably here there won't be that many people involved in clinical skills only. What can we do as an industry to bring that out, to make sure that task trainers are represented more?
Absolutely. There's a danger when you're so focused on technology for its own sake, and when buzzwords like AI become an end in of itself, so that we lose sight of what are we really here for, which is to improve surgical skills, to improve to train health workers in and help them get better. And task trainers perform a really important task in doing that. But it should be a part of a continuing curriculum and with an objective of helping them get better holistically. So task trainers fit a very important role, but within a larger context. So our approach to it is to look at it as in a modular and interoperable fashion, where these task trainers, we continue to innovate on them, but they fit into our mannequins and fit into a broader context.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And one thing is, and you've seen a member of staff at Nasco. How important are your salespeople for firstly, in general, but secondly, in delivering you the right direction?
They couldn't be more important. So our people on the ground are critical. So as we look at our vision and our strategy, a big part of our strategy is to be customer focused, to understand the needs of our customer and bring solutions that address those needs. And our salespeople are on the ground. They're hearing every day what's working, what's not, and they inform us our strategy. So, and we have an inclusive culture of listening to our employees and acting on that. And we also create an environment where people are willing and happy to challenge us, and that's how we get better. And so yes, absolutely, it's really important for us.
Fantastic. A couple more questions, and then we've finished up. But so far it's been great to have you here. So with the major vision of the Nasco, if you could sum it up in a few words, what would it be, both to the public and internally to the industry?
So we have our vision and mission is to train health workers to improve outcomes, and so everything we do is tailored around that. So, and then we have 4 key strategic pillars around innovation, so value-driven innovation that helps deliver, our vision of improving outcomes. Commercial excellence, expanding our footprint and training our sales force to sell the value of our technology. And then and customer intimacy, understanding the needs of our customers, engaging them in meaningful ways that improve outcome for our patients. So everything is geared around our vision of improving patient safety, improving patient outcomes.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I think it's always important to sort of end on a good news story, really. Since you started your job 4 months in, like we said, is there any particular good news story that sticks out that makes you believe that you're in the right place?
So there's two stories. One is a really good story that makes me feel really good, and the other is about how we are transforming our business at speed. So the first story, one of our sales leaders was out and she heard from a university about a need for a female-specific task trainer to screen for breast cancer in Africa. And so she very quickly jumped on it, and she got one, she hand-delivered it, and they took it out there in a country that's underserved from this standpoint, and this doesn't get detected in time or more often than not. And so the fact that she showed the willingness to pick it up and the leadership to get it done, and took the ownership, that makes me feel really good about the kind of people we have at Nasco and what we stand for. And it's really, really tied to our mission, especially in underserved communities. So that one makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
And there's more stories like that. The other one is how our team has really, in the course of the last 3 months, transformed our innovation pipeline, and we have 3 new exciting technologies in our booth, and the team's the level of ownership and courage and grit and in getting things done, and everyone stepping up and acting like owners, and that also makes me feel really good about Nasco, about our employees, and the future of the company.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good to first of all that you've joined a company that is innovating at the time you're joining it. That's really, really good news. I do appreciate what you said about salespeople as well. As a ex-salesperson in this industry, and still a salesperson, really, I've always found it really important to listen to the people on the ground floor. They will give you the information. Sometimes they won't deliver it in the way that you want it, but if managers listen carefully enough, they get the right information. So that's really great to hear. Jacob, it's fun.
I just we track something called Net Promoter Score. That really tracks the people who promote the company, who are passive, who really don't want to say anything about it, and then detractors. And our salespeople are in a position to service our customers. And so the last thing you want to do is not listen to them, because then you build employees that don't believe in the company, and that will transfer on to our customers as well. So this is big. It's a very big focus for us.
Great news to hear. That's great to hear. So Jacob, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a great interview. I've got a little gift for you under your chair. In fact, I'm going to reach under it.
I thought you were going to give me the game for it.
Not yet. Maybe later at the end.
Maybe
at the end. So this is an innovation book that I read. It's a bit of a Bible for me. It breaks down innovation into some very, very easy steps. This guy has actually produced a number of books on innovation and business, and I guarantee if you're sitting on a plane, it will make you amused, and also as well it will make you recall stories of your career just by reading that book. So thank you very much for joining us on this Between Two Simulators, We'll be back next year, hopefully.
Between two giants.
Yeah, two giants.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thanks very much. Great to meet you. Cheers.
Cheers, Jake. Thank you.
Brilliant.